This is also true on this scandal or possible scandal within the FBI. You know, we talked about this a lot yesterday about these texts that came out between these FBI lovers, in which it seemed clear that Loretta Lynch, right? Blandly sinister Attorney General Loretta Lynch, that when she sat down on the tarmac met with Bill Clinton on that tarmac in July 2016, she already knew that Comey was going to clear Hillary Clinton. And it really makes it look as if that meeting, look, I don't know this. I'm not saying this is a definite thing. This, I'm not saying this is exactly what's happening, but I'm just saying, look, this is what it looks like at a glance. It looks like she sat down with him to give him the thumbs up, to say, it's all going to be fine. I can't send you an email, so I'll meet with you personally. I'm going to give you a wink and a nod. It's all going to be fine. And this, by the way, is completely out of keeping with what James Comey, the former FBI director, testified when he said there was no coordination. Here is Comey testifying that he did not tell Loretta Lynch what he was going to do.
And then the capper was, and I'm not picking on the Attorney General, Loretta Lynch, who I like very much, but her meeting with President Clinton on that airplane was the capper for me. And I then said, you know what? The department cannot by itself credibly end this. The best chance we have as a justice system is if I do something I never imagined before, step away from them and tell the American people, look, here's what the FBI did, here's what we found, here's what we think. And that offered us the best chance of the American people believing in the system, that it was done in a credible way. That was a hard call for me to make, to call the Attorney General that morning and say, I'm about to do a press conference and I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to say. And I said to her, I hope someday you'll understand why I think I have to do this. But look, I wasn't loving this.
So according to the guy who was running the guy who was running the investigation, Hillary Clinton, who was at the top level of that investigation, Loretta Lynch already knew what he was going to do, which means either Comey was out of touch or he was not telling the truth to that committee just there, So, I mean, it's a story. And look, again, I'm just telling you what it looks like. I do not know, but it is a news story. And how many people hearing that 5 crucial months of these text messages have disappeared, how many people who hear that are going to go like, well, it was an accident? Is that what people are really going to think? We don't know because the networks won't report it. ABC still isn't reporting it. I didn't see a single story about it in the New York Times. I'm not saying they didn't do it because maybe it was buried somewhere on page C23 or something like that, but I didn't see any story about it there. They're obviously keeping it down. Let me just play you a brief audio clip of NPR, because NPR is the core of this elites. They think they're fair. They think they've got it right. This is NPR reporter Ryan Lucas being interviewed about what this story means. And listen to some key things. Let me tell you before I run it. They always, whenever the left-wing media wants to cover something up, they always say, well, the Republicans are making a big fuss about. They don't just tell you the story, right? It's Republicans are making a big fuss about. When Democrats are making a big fuss about it, they don't tell you that. Then they tell you these two sides as if the two sides were equally balanced, which would be fine if they didn't start with saying it's really Republicans who are building this up. They ascribe it all to Republican political maneuvering, and they leave out crucial facts. Just listen to this piece of NPR. It is a masterpiece of propaganda that actually believes it's the news.
So Republicans have been pushing this memo at a time when the special counsel's investigation is going forward. They've also been really playing up some text messages between an FBI investigator and a lawyer at the Bureau. What's going on there?
That's right. The president himself alluded to that yesterday on Twitter. These are texts between an investigator who is a senior FBI official involved in the Hillary Clinton email investigation and the Russia probe, and an FBI lawyer. The Justice Department has provided the text to Congress. There are texts from about a 5-month stretch that were missing. The Justice Department says this was because of a technical glitch when the FBI upgraded its phones. But again, the focus on the text and the memo are both part of basically a long-running effort by some Republicans, particularly in the House, to paint the FBI and the Mueller team as politically biased.
So he doesn't mention that they were having an affair. It's just an FBI agent and a lawyer. He doesn't mention that they had to wring these texts out of the Justice Department. They didn't just hand, oh yeah, here's everything we got. It took them a long time to get them out. He doesn't mention, he talks about the fact that these emails disappear. He doesn't mention that it's a crucial time in this timeline. He doesn't mention any of this stuff. And again, I am not saying that there was a conspiracy to get Donald Trump at the FBI. I'm saying that there is evidence that there might have been, and some of the people who have seen more of this evidence, are saying that there might have been. You know what? I have to play this. I wasn't going to, but I got it. Senator Ron Johnson was on the Bret Baier show yesterday, and if you can see this video, it's great because he says something that Baier hasn't heard before. And you got to remember, Baier is a reporter. He used to be a reporter, and now he's an anchorman, so he's got to run the show. But the reporter thing goes off in his head, and you can just see it. It's like a little flare. It's like a little, like that volcano in the Philippines. You can just see the reporter thing goes off in his head because he hears a piece of information he didn't have before, and he catches Johnson out. Listen to this.
So what this is all about is further evidence of corruption, more than bias, but corruption at the highest levels of the FBI and that secret society. We have an informant that's talking about a group that were holding secret meetings off-site. There's so much smoke here. There's so much suspicion.
Let's stop there. A secret society, secret meetings off-site of the Justice Department.
Correct.
And you have an informant saying that.
Yes.
Is there anything more about that?
No, we have to dig into it. This is not a distraction. Again, this is bias, potentially corruption at the highest levels of the FBI that is now investigating. And now and by the way, Robert Mueller used to run the FBI. He is in no position to do an investigation over this kind of misconduct. So I think at this point in time, we probably should be looking at a special counsel to undertake this investigation. But Congress is going to have to continue to dig.
That's Bret Baier, though. He's the last television newsman. He's the last. While Jim Acosta's running around making a fool of himself and parading himself, Bret Baier is actually covering the news. You could just see when wait, you got an informant that there were secret meetings off site of the Justice Department. Anything else about that? And he's still the anchorman, so he's running the show. But I love that. I just love that when that torch off. Listen, all I'm saying is it's a story. The truth doesn't come out if they don't cover it, right? That's how the truth comes out. That's how they covered up the IRS scandal in the Obama administration. Is the press just dropped it. So it's cover the story, find out where the truth lies, put pressure on the government. That's what journalists do. And I hate this argument about, our trusted institute, we'll lose trust in our institutions. If our institutions don't deserve trust, let's clean them out and start again. That's how you work. That's how democracy works. These guys are not above the law. I do not care who they are. I do not care about trusting them. I care about getting at the truth. And the government and the media, the Senate, and the movie industry are all separate from the voice of the people, and they're trying to silence and ignore that voice.